Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Attune your pyromancy gloves, because today we're reviewing Dark Souls 3.
I don't know what that means.
He doesn't play the game.
What's up, everybody? We are back at the IGL Podcast. I am your host, Justin Gentile.
I am also your host, Timothy McGorry.
I want to welcome everybody to another fine edition because today we are talking about Dark Souls 3, or more specifically, Tim will be talking about Dark Souls 3 as he has been enduring.
Not playing it. I wouldn't call it enduring. I would call it the most lovely walk through the most through the most horrific park.
Well, I bring you
built.
to the comfort of the Hollywood Redux studios, only at HollywoodRedux.com, plug. And we can talk about this in the comforts of our lovely studio here. I brought you back from the dark places, from the dark times. Tell me about the Dark Souls. I'm making it sound a lot more jolly, I guess, than it really is.
It is jolly. It's a fun game. So in preparation for this, I played like 48 hours of probably like halfway through Dark Souls 2, and then I played like 14 hours, maybe more of Bloodborne.
We played 10 minutes of 1 together.
That's all well
before
and good.
You played 2, right? But it was before you played 2.
We played, yes.
It was a lot of fun though, as two people figuring out the mechanics for the first time. That was fun.
I tried to play Dark Souls at your house, and then you were like, "Stop playing! This is a single player game. We're supposed to hang out." I'm like,
well, I mean, you do have a habit sometimes of playing my games, and then sometimes you'll play through a cool cutscene or something, and then it's very confusing because I'm a story-based gamer. I like to follow these cinematics and stories sometimes. But it was cool to kind of challenge each other, be like, oh, I can't beat this boss, you try to beat this boss. I could see the appeal of that, but you're going in solo. You're just playing single player madness, or
when I started with Dark Souls 3, I've been online mostly. I have been when I was in the what was it? I fucking hate the names. I'm so bad with it.
Is it a cooperative multiplayer experience, or is it more like, I know in previous Dark Souls games there's
PvP
hints.
And there's a much more, I didn't play online for Dark Souls 2, so now there's people can leave messages and actually really help and sort of guide with the game, and
or troll you too, right?
Yeah, well, you can also get invaded and that, but you can really sort of make a decision to do that, kind of by playing online, and then they familiarize you with the summoning structure. As you can summon NPCs to sort of help you in boss battles as well. If you have your Ember, or which is different from Dark Souls 2, which was your Humanity, which is also kind of there.
The way you're describing the gameplay sounds very roleplay game reminiscent.
There's a lot of I mean, it's like, here's the thing with role-playing games, I feel like you have to make sometimes decisions, it's really just a single,
it's more about the development.
It's very stat-based, and it's just really just, I think it's easier than Dark Souls 2 for some reason. Dark Souls 2,
do you think they were trying to please
I literally
the
think
audience,
it's just the engine, because it's they could do a little bit more with it, even though I was not fat rolling, which is when you try to dodge with too much equipment on your body. And
is that what's the negative of that? Is it too slow? Remember, I'm a total beginner.
Get mercified. You can't have you played for 10 minutes, but you can't, even in later levels, you can't get two super strong medium level guys. Even if you try to do a strong attack on them, that would be a bad decision. You really just have to play it slow and just let this fucking gothic Mega Man really just familiarize yourself. But while playing it, most of the computers, a lot of the guys have 3 different attacks. And some of the larger, regular encounter guys have 3 different levels of attack. So what you can do is you can just sort of control your distance away. So because they'll have maybe 2 different range attacks. One that they kind of do when you're sort of away from them, and then 2 up close personal. So you can just kind of stick tight to them.
But they're rudimentary. Once you memorize these, they're not random, I would say. So they're very classic gaming in the sense that you can kind of memorize these pattern based.
Yeah.
You can kind of memorize it and kind of assess
Study the algorithms, as it were.
So we were talking a mix of Mega Man and kind of Dungeons and Dragons, Resident Evil.
Yeah. You just
okay,
they
just
give
in
you
terms
a
of the
key.
gameplay.
They're oh, it's the old cellar key, oh, I know, I was in the old cellar. Let me go back to the old cellar. They have fast traveling back. They have...
Never thought I was going back to that old cellar, but here I am.
Very true.
Now, you're in Dark Souls 3, and I know they're, like, tangentially related to Bloodborne as well. Can you, like, what's the difference between...
They're not the same universe. I got kind of more interested in the story of... Like, with Dark Souls, it's kind of like, hey, there are great souls. Gotta get rid of them. They're not good.
They're dark.
They look like the guys. They're like, bosses are very similar to the... You know, they have, like, recurring bosses. So,
but, like, what's that overarching story? You know, if you're looking at, like,
Greatwood.
what, you know, the Hunger Games is about Katniss, like, freeing the people or whatever from
You're kind of in
like,
limbo, and I think you're trying to prevent the apocalypse, and you're just...
When are we not?
Trying to just... make friends with people. I don't know. Like, but with Bloodborne, it's like you just wake up like strapped to a table, whereas this you sort of wake up in a field, and it's I don't know.
It's funny because Doom started out the same way. You're strapped to the table, and they're like experimenting on.
This isn't about Doom.
It's
Justin.
just about parallel thinking. That's it. You know, it's the same reason you have Batman and Superman fighting, and you have Captain America and Iron Man fighting. It's parallel thinking. You know, but so what? But okay, so the souls are dark. We want to make them not dark anymore,
Yeah.
right? I guess.
Yeah, I guess
It
so.
seems
Like,
basic.
you don't get experience in the game.
So
you
you're not
get
playing
souls.
it.
Let me talk.
Yeah.
You don't get experience in the game. You get souls, and in order to level up your souls, like you could just keep playing, but then when you die, you just lose all your souls. So when you hit like a bonfire, which is sort of like a save game point, which if you rest, you can light it without resting at it. And if you rest at it, it just respawns all the enemies. I don't think that they stop respawning in this one. In Dark Souls 2, they would like stop spawning after like maybe 6 or 12 in a lot of cases. Like, so you couldn't like farm souls or spend some time trying to like level up to try to like offshoot the balance of these like insanely strong fucking characters.
There was grinding back then. There's no grinding.
No, there's grinding now too. Yeah, especially, and it's gonna get like you're gonna have to utilize like PvP when I get to the higher levels.
What is the PvP gameplay though?
Like, so I got invaded by Dat Boy and Kanye West the other night when I was
what's up?
in this great swamp. I'm trying to fight this fucking crab monster. And he's a dick, and he throws this sludge on you that makes you slower, and you could barely even pierce the back of his shell. You could do damage to the back of his shell, but it's like almost fucking minuscule, and every time you get in front of him to hit his soft spot, you get like, you can't even hit twice.
Is it still called the backstab?
Sometimes, yeah, they have backstabs, or, no, they're, so Bloodborne, it's visceral hits, I think, and in this one, it's...
I think that from a casual observer, it just looks like Bloodborne has less stuff on fire. Honestly, it looks like Bloodborne. Like
there are more fires.
Really?
I feel like there are more fires. Like
it's like more of like a gothic.
There's this one scene in Bloodborne where like everyone keeps like, it doesn't matter how long you're there or if you even clear the area. There's like a fire in the middle of the town, and all the NPC guys keep being drawn to it. Bell rings, dong. More guys come out. But it's more like,
sounds very Resident Evil 4.
But I mean, Dark Souls 2, like okay. So let's talk about like where I am in the game. I've beaten.
You're in Trace. I'm sorry. We're talking Dark Souls.
I'm sorry for using my phone, but I forget the names of a lot of the bosses. So I beat Index, beat Vord of the Boreal Valley at the High Wall of Lothric.
Read off some of these names for me. I want to see if any of them.
I want you to
fear into my heart.
Say real or not real. If I'm going to say a Dark Souls 2 villain, and you're going to tell me...
Dark Souls 3.
Dark Souls 3 villain. Well, there's a lot of similarity. Like, there's, like, they
bring
him back,
seems to
and
me.
then, like, it's a different... They do, like, a different skill set.
Oh, because it's like, here's the demon from the first one that you hated. You're going to hate him even more.
Yeah. And, like, really quick before I do this, like, I'm very surprised. The last 3 bosses that I've faced in this, and it was the Crystal Sage, it was Abyss Watchers, and it was the Deacons of the Deep. I had never fucking... killed the boss in like the first run through. I usually die every time, but like the last 3, like from what like I read on the forums, like people are like, oh, this is kind of the turning point of the game, and I have just done like the 2 dungeons after, kind of like the whole, when it gets like fucking harder, and it's really been testing me. Like last night I was getting like
but you were breezing through it, you said, with the last 3.
I was, yeah, in like the normal areas are like sometimes harder than the bosses, like I feel. But okay, so curse rotted greatwood.
So true or not true? Curse rotted. Can you spell
curse that? Rotted hyphenated greatwood.
I'm gonna go real. A tree possibly.
Okay. Deharim the dwarf.
From the dwarf. Yeah, yeah?
No, not real. I just made that up.
Really? I feel like there wouldn't be any dwarfs there.
The young demon prince.
No.
Right, it's the old demon king.
Oh! See, that's the thing, though. I feel like this is so generic. I feel like it's just like the evil one and the eviler one. And like it's... so you're not really playing for the story. You're kind of playing for the challenge.
At night, and when you're playing like by yourself, and you go into these boss battles, like the character design and everything looks so beautiful. I find my character just like instinctively like I gotta get away from these guys. Like the way to win is to try to get close in a lot of situations, and really just you really got to be like, okay, shield. You have to I stagger my shield because if you have your shield up, your stamina doesn't reheal as fast.
So the fun is
you really have to be like present in the moment and not like just very
the fun is in the challenge. You're not really trying to get to the end of the story. You're
I am. Well, here's the thing, like now, like I didn't finish Dark Souls 2, so I don't know, like you just wake up each time. I don't know if you're necessarily the same thing. There's not an option to like carry your save game over. I'm definitely going to probably do New Game Plus after this because I'm just enjoying the shit out of it.
You're about 20 hours in now.
I'm about 22 hours in. I just went
so you're recommending
the Cathedral of the Deep, which is like the actual cathedral. I don't know what they call it. I mean,
sounds expensive.
Well, no, because it's like an earlier, bonfire, but then you actually get to the cathedral and it's.
Recommend or not recommend?
Recommend. Fucking buy it. When you have a game and you don't, you just have time and you just were like, oh, you know what? I like to play a game for maybe 20 hours, maybe get like 20%, 30% of the story so far. And that's really like entertaining. Like they make a very full game. It really just tests your patience, but at the same time, it is, oh God, I have so much fun playing it.
Damn.
Anyway.
All right, I'll get into it. I gotta try. I have Dark Souls 1. Shout out to Games with Gold. They hooked us up on that. Microsoft giving us the free games, but I will take on the challenge. Maybe you'll see us in a Twitch session soon. Maybe you'll see some beginner Dark Souls 3 on my watch.
Oh yeah, I did. I twitched with the Dark Souls.
You're twitching, but maybe they want to watch someone who sucks.
Yeah, they don't want to watch someone who's good at Dark Souls.
No,
they want to
right?
watch someone
That's the
who's
fun.
trash.
So don't forget to subscribe and like us below on the video. Check out our other videos over at HollywoodRedux.com if you want to see our other Twitch sessions, or you want to check out our other podcasts. Am I throwing my voice right now? That's crazy.
I was doing lip syncing.
Just watch that side. But want to watch the Writer's Room, you want to watch the K-Files, check us out. Also, one of our Twitch sessions might be on the side. By one of our heads over here.
Maybe here. Fuck.
It's not there. It's not there.
All right, there. Go to police.
Go. Just go.
No. Go. Listen, thank you for listening. Thanks for watching. Buy Dark Souls 3 if you want, and you have the ability to do that. If you don't, you're a fucking idiot, and it's a great game.
And don't forget to check us out next week. E3's coming up. We're going to be previewing E3. So
June 14th to the 16th at the LA Convention Center. We're going to be updating the crap out of our social media pages with all sorts of dribs and drabs of news. It's going to be things. It's going to be posts. It's going to be, I wonder if they're going to like this. It's going to be, boy, they sure did. And, yeah.
Mine's going to be much different.
And the coffee kicked in.
Well, have a great day, guys. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.